It's a great song.
love that song.
I don't know if
all three of you.
Yeah, I was waiting to
wait. Are you counting yourself when you said all three of you?
I was working with a dealer, and the marketing manager was in there, and she caught me, and I didn't. No one in the room.
Car dealer or drug dealer?
And no one in the room caught it either, because we were talking about site speed. And I pulled up the Google Analytics site speed, and I was like, yeah, we need to make sure that your site loads in less than 2 minutes. Nobody in the room got it. I didn't get it. She caught on it right away, and she's like, oh, 2 minutes, huh? Oh, we need to make sure it loads in. I think I can make it load in 2 minutes. I absolutely think I can. And nobody, I mean, we were just oblivious. And she just kept digging in. I'm like, why are you still harping on this? It's 2 minutes. No, it's 2 seconds. Yeah. So, yeah.
Nicely done.
Well, everybody, we don't usually welcome everyone to PoddiMouths, but I need to welcome you because we have a returning guest today. Mr. Matt Smolak has joined us one more time.
Matty Smolak!
Leading into vacation, so I thought, well, what the hell not? Let's get him on the podcast. We're both on vacation.
You said you want to have some fun.
Oh, I did say that. That is true, but I tend to be a little bit mischievous. At least I'm getting you on a podcast and not leading you into a dark alley.
No, mischievous.
Yeah, it depends on what
mischievous, not mischievous. Come on,
it's kind of like
no.
Is it kind of like herb and
it's
herb?
Incorrect. Anytime you say mischievous,
it's herb and herb.
No, it's not. That's totally different.
What's the one that's been?
No, those are interchangeable. Mischievous is not interchangeable.
I've been hearing one recently that I can't.
Dumbass.
Remember. The English version.
Sorry, just kidding.
It's Dumas. I can't remember.
Dumas. No, but herb is England, is UK. You're absolutely right.
Yep. No, Herb is the guy down the street.
Yes. He is. I'm sorry.
Matt's just sitting there enjoying. Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Yes, I'm like, when I realized I was on here, I'm like, man, guys, I got to warn you, I'm going to be the most boring podcast guest ever. As I've done nothing this week. I've looked at no updated current events. I've kept that, but I got to tell you, my life has been very peaceful from it. So I'm not sure.
See,
I can add much to a conversation, but my overall aura is nice and calm. Nothing's got me fired up.
Well, that's good. So there's something to be said about that. I was talking to Jennifer today, and we're taking Peyton to her first concert. We're going to go see Dave Matthews, and we're in the Bud Light section of Bridgestone Arena for the, yeah. So I made a comment. I said, I wonder if we're going to be the only ones in that section. And she's like, why would that be? Why would no one want it? I'm like, Bud Light. Okay.
And she still didn't get it.
Dylan Mulvaney. Like, there's a reason I married you.
Okay.
No wonder you're so happy all the time.
You were talking about Peyton, then you were talking about Jen. I'm like, okay, Peyton maybe shouldn't know, but Jen should kind of know what's.
Jen should. You think she would, but I'm really kind of. I'm impressed that she's been so busy focusing on work that she has no time for any of that other crap, and she's probably better off for it. I mean, I wish I didn't know half the shit I know.
Probably.
Yeah. Some of the stuff is from staying up in the hotel room too late.
We've said that for years.
Yeah, that's true. It is. Yep. And both of you are correct. And I don't really know that much. I just know what I shouldn't know and should know when I don't know, because I don't know it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, Nick, what was your first concert?
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
You never do. That's why we make such good podcast partners. What's my first concert, Matt? Not impressive.
Yes.
Okay, here it is. It was Roger Whittaker. That's why I was singing "Wind Beneath My Wings" when we were first coming on. He's the guy who wrote it, folks. You probably think it's Bette Midler, but it's not. It's Roger Whittaker.
Yeah. No,
he did. How about you, Matt?
I've never seen him in concert.
Oh, it was fantastic. I don't remember.
There's a reason for that. Go ahead, Matt.
I was thinking, I was never.
What was yours, Matt?
Huge concert goer, but Jimmy Buffett, and it was probably late teenage years. So I had a lot of fun at that concert.
That would be a fun. Well, that would be a fun concert for so many reasons. Probably the same reason Dave Matthews is going to be a lot of fun for most of the adults that are there.
Just not for your,
not for my 12-year-old daughter. No, she's going to go. Why is there a skunk here?
But yeah,
skunk in here.
Yeah, Buffett is a little different that way because most of his stuff is the party, the pregame party.
Yep.
And I mean, we got there, the Buffett concert I went to, one of them, it was in like a gravel, Alpine Valley, I think out in Wisconsin and southern Wisconsin. And they had, you've got all kinds of cars we got there 8 hours early. That's when they opened the gates to the parking lot. So it's an all-day party. You had people who brought in inflatable pools, and they were already filled. They had like a bladder and another pickup truck, and they filled it with water. And they had goldfish, and I mean, it was just incredible. And shots galore and all sorts of. You could just go around the entire parking area and do shots and 50 restrooms, and well, they weren't restrooms, they were porta potties.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was crazy. There were people doing tattoos. Well, I guess they were henna tattoos, but still. And I mean, it was just crazy. And just a nutty place to go. But a fun concert. And there was some of that, but not a whole lot of the ganja smoking.
No, lots of drinking. More mixed drinking and just
a lot of drinking
all day than anything.
Well, I was going to say I wouldn't be the one filling my bladder with water. I don't think I've ever done a festival concert. Never been to a festival like that. Those type of places scare me. The closest I've been, I used to work. My very first job out of college was working for Clear Channel, and it was before they actually became Clear Channel. I was there when they did. It was they owned and operated all of the amphitheaters all over the country, and my job, each vendor had a person assigned to them to help them plan things within their tent or their particular area outside at the venue. And my job was Camel RJR, and they were doing some sort of bazaar, so I had to book talent for these tents. So I would book like tarot card readers and magicians and things like that. But it gave me access to all of the amphitheaters, which was fantastic. So I got to go see some really cool shows at these amphitheaters, but that's the closest I've ever been to a festival. Festivals scare me, especially now in my bougie days, boozy and bougie, because I would probably end up getting a really fancy camper, parking it there, and spending 90% of my time in the camper instead of going around at the festival. Because, you know me and people. I'm going to have a lot of fun at this concert.
Well, I do. And there are a lot of people, and I would do the same thing. I could see having a Class B or Class C camper there. And there are several in these parking lots. And outside of one is a band that's set up. And this is Buffett's concert way before, 5 hours before the concert starts. And so those folks got shit-faced and they're hammering their drinks and they watched the concert and then came back and spent the night in the parking lot in their RV.
See, now that's
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's definitely my style right there.
Me too.
I don't. Go ahead, Matt.
That's a lot of commitment just to go to a concert. I mean,
it is.
I'm dropping enough on the ticket. Now I gotta get an RV. I mean, shit, just sounds like a lot of commitment just for me to go get drunk.
Well, speaking of shit, though, that gives you a great opportunity because one of the worst experiences, especially at those festivals, is using the porta potties or waiting in line for the porta potties. So if you have your own RV or your own camper, you've got your own shitter. Problem solved. Crisis averted.
Hey, wasn't it you a couple years ago when you were out of town with the family? What kind of concert or festival did you run into? Were you in Chicago? What was in town?
It was Chicago. Was not Lollapalooza. Was it Lollapalooza?
I thought it was Lollapalooza.
I think it was Lollapalooza. Yeah, we stayed at the hotel that was right across the street. Like our hotel room looked down into the stage, which was pretty cool because we could hear everything. But it was a madhouse, absolutely a madhouse.
That had to be interesting.
Where was this? In Chicago. Who was playing? Oh, so it was multiple bands.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yeah. I've never been to a multiple.
I thought you were talking about the band Chicago.
I have been to a Chicago concert. That was incredible. Who opened? It was
me too. It was Chicago, and Michael went. My son went to one with Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I got to
in Chicago.
So and Earth, Wind, and Fire. They were.
You said that
they were doing a private party, and that was the same company that I worked for. I was an intern at that point, and that was my experience with contract riders, because part of their rider said they wanted a specific 3 specific bottles of champagne, and they were really expensive, and I had to go around to 3 different stores in a snowstorm just to get the right champagne. So it was a pretty cool experience, but I did get to meet those guys. They were really nice. But the Chicago, so I got to see Chicago.
That's awesome.
And they were right after damn it, it was who did Neil Young used to play for? It was blah 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 and Young.
Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and they were before. I mean, one was not opening up because Crosby, Stills, and Nash does not open up for Chicago, and Chicago does not open up for Crosby, Stills, and Nash. But it was one of those concerts where one played before the other, and they would swap. So yeah, I got to see those folks with Chicago. That was pretty cool. And then KC and the Sunshine Band, I got to see those guys. That
would be fun.
Event. So it wasn't a concert. It was it was an Anheuser-Busch event. And then Journey was the other one.
I bet they wish they would have stuck with that.
Right? That was a long time ago. So the other one I saw at the theater was Journey, and I did see Bare Naked Ladies and Brian. Brian was the Beach Boy that everyone makes fun of. Brian
Adams.
No, Brian
Wilson.
Brian Wilson opened up for the Bare Naked Ladies. That was a pretty cool concert.
Interesting. I have watched some of the. There's Matt back. I've watched some of the YouTube videos of the Beach Boys over various years, and it's it's kind of interesting. And Brian Wilson is still a talented guy, and I know there have been some stories and so on, and probably of many in rock royalty back then, but they were some pretty quality, talented people. And speaking of that, I've been listening to the Doobie Brothers lately too. Oh my gosh, they're just awesome. And even Michael McDonald, and I'm not a big fan of his. That dude can flat play the keys and sing anything. And to this day, and he's not a young guy anymore. None of them are, but yeah, it's just fun to listen to some. They did a thing in Japan last year, and they were awesome. They were China Grove was just like, damn, these guys are really, really good.
Any concerts that you guys want to go to that if it came to your town? Because Dave
Matt,
is one of those things where if they come to town, Alanis Morissette's the same way, that I guarantee at least one of us is going. Anything like that for you guys?
I think the only thing I missed on, because it got canceled during COVID, and then last year I had the opportunity to go and I passed it up. It was like Metallica, Motley Crue, and somebody else, like might have been Def Leppard. And I was like, nice. I want to go to that concert just to see everybody try. I didn't even want to go to the concert. I wanted to see how everybody was the next day. Everybody that's in their 40s and 50s trying to go out and keep up with it. And like, how shitty do they feel the day after this concert? Like that's really what I wanted to see. But yeah, I would have seen that. I was supposed to be outside at First Energy Stadium. That would have been a decent one. But I don't know. I'm just, as much as I love being like when we go to Nashville, Nick, and I love live music, I'm not like, oh my gosh, I got to go see that concert. Like so many times I've had the opportunity to see Kid Rock, I've passed on. But I do think if I'm going to a concert, it's got to be, which is surprising that I'm not a huge country fan, but country, hard metal or rock or something like that. And I'm a huge rap fan. I don't enjoy the concert aspect of that as much.
Yeah. I'm the same way, John, and I'd be curious to know about you too. I'm not a big concert goer. I never have been. But I do like live music in small doses. But yeah,
we have been, and sorry, just a quick, and it's kind of probably I don't know, Matt, maybe the opposite reason why you don't like the whole rap concert thing. We've been to several Christian concerts, like, Chris Tomlin and probably 2 or 3 of his. And who else did we see? Big Daddy Weave. And I will tell you that the best part about it is everybody's nice. There's nobody that's hammered. And, I have not seen any pot at one of those concerts. Yeah. And it sounds silly, but it's just kind of a nice atmosphere that, everybody kind of gets along. And so to say we've been to some, we haven't been to that many. It's just kind of fun. It's a nice change of pace. That said, you got to appreciate like Dave Grohl if he's out there playing with whomever, Foo Fighters or solo. I'd love to see him.
100% be
and have you seen him on Hot Wings? Have you seen him with Sean on Hot? Oh my gosh,
he's so fun.
That was probably the best episode that I've watched.
I know,
oh my gosh,
Matt, I owe you.
Got Sean hammered. It was beautiful.
I owe you the book, but Dave Grohl's book is phenomenal. I was laughing out loud in an airport when I was reading that book. It was great. It was fantastic. But what it boils down to for me too, and this is, I think, a slight on my character. One of the reasons I don't like going to concerts, I don't like going to bars necessarily or clubs or anything, never have. I prefer working. I feel like I'm missing out. I could be working or doing something. So I enjoy concerts when I'm there for a reason, when I'm there to work, when I'm there to, whether it's being a bartender or whether it's there with a client and I'm trying to entertain them or something like that. That's when I enjoy going to concerts or live events. When I'm working or when I'm just by myself or not working and just walking around or sitting in a seat, I'm bored out of my mind. And I don't know why.
I know one person I want to go see in concert. I'm going to plug him here because everybody here knows who he is. I want to go see Rick George band live and in concert. You know who that is.
There you go.
Yeah, Rick Sheets.
I know.
Me too.
And actually, hopefully he's listening. Get down. I'd love to hear him play live. We were hoping when we were out of town last time, he brought his guitar, and if it hadn't rained or snowed that one night, he's like, "I'll play around the campfire." I honestly would have liked to have seen it. I think some of mine.
Oh, that's awesome.
Some of mine though, Nick, is also is some of my ADD. Like, I don't want to pay to go be stuck somewhere for 3 or 4 hours. Like, I want to get there. I want to see it. All right, I'm good. This is exciting. I don't need to stay the whole entire time. I'd be more inclined to watch a play or even a symphony than I am to actually go to an actual, like you said, party style concert. After a while, it's just too loud. I'm like, all right, let me get out of here. Let me go hang out outside. And at those places, it's not like I can just go hang out somewhere else cool and come back. Like I like, that's why maybe I like Nashville. I go in here, listen to music, starts to get too loud or, too crowded in there, go on to the next place. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's just typical Nashville. It's always too crowded. I would have to say that's probably one of the reasons.
Yes, it is.
Probably the only reason I'm really not looking forward to the concert this tonight, because I actually have to go downtown, and I'm not looking forward to that part.
Yeah, going in and coming out.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other part. It's not even the concert. It's like leaving the concert. I was like that last night with my kid's baseball game. I'm like, shit, I should have left here 10 minutes ago. Hit the game-winning home run. I could have got out of here before all these idiots in the parking lot.
You guys are so freaking old. Jeez, you guys, you're so old. I can't believe it.
Probably a month ago, I'm looking, and I forget what I was wearing, and I'm like, I'm looking at my security camera, and I'm like, what the hell is my dad doing here? Because it was from the back. And I was moving, and I realized it.
Wow.
I was like,
that's bad. That is bad.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's awesome.
I mean, I know it wasn't awesome. Because my dad dresses much cooler than I do.
Dad revenge.
Much nicer clothes. But I was like, shit, that's me.
Yeah. I catch myself doing my dad.
I love that. Well, yeah, well, but I mean, looking like him though is a different thing, and so I'm with you on that, Matt, because my driver's license photo, I look at it and go, oh, come on, I look like my dad, and you just kind of go, okay, well, I guess that's what happens. And then I look at the old ones when my son was, the little guy, and I looked like he does now, sort of. And I'm like, okay, well,
at least you don't need a DNA test at that point.
No, probably not. Not at that point. If you ever
have the chance to meet my son and he spends about 2 minutes with you and makes a comment to you, be like, no, that's definitely his kid. Like, without a doubt. Yeah. And trust me, it drives me nuts.
Yeah. Who cares what his face looks like?
The attitude says awesome. The attitude says it all. Much like my youngest, I love watching my wife and her go at it. I'm like, yeah, that's you 100%. Like, just why is she always freaking out about everything? What's her thing? There's no reasoning with her. I just really never noticed. So
yeah. I should go out to the garage.
I'm gonna go cut the grass. Yep.
Yes, because damn, I'm not saying a word. Yeah, that's exactly right. Oh, Nick, we were talking about concerts too. The first concert we took Michael to when he was, I think he was 13. Lisa will correct me if not. Was Tom Petty, and so we had a conversation. Well, and he was a big fan.
Tom Petty was a big fan of Michael.
Were, but yeah, he was. Hey, Michael, how's it going? Very good Tom Petty impression. But we had the talk in advance. Lisa goes, "Do we need to talk to him about the pot?" So they don't still do that. Come on, they're not going to do. Oh shit! We got there, and Michael, and he's. I remember him sitting kind of back in his chair with his jacket, up over his face, and he goes, "What's that smell?" And I said, "That's pot, Mike. That's marijuana. It stinks." And there are people like right behind us, smoke. And how's it going? You want to hit? No. I'm good. Here's my son. Have you seen my son? Yeah. Oh, we should have had the talk. But anyway, it was funny and great concert.
Nowadays, though, concert, I think it would be. You want to hit? Oh, okay. Kid, you want? No, I'm not kidding. I'm kidding about the kid part. Yeah. But it's getting close.
So speaking of that, where we're at now with a lot of these different places that have it legalized, it's weird when you're in Colorado, you don't smell it that often. But like when I'm in Chicago, especially by the Riverwalk, you're walking through it on a nice night and it's like, they don't care. Like every third person's out there. They're not obscene.
Oh, but Seattle too.
Just obscene. I'm sorry. And it's been so many years since I've been out there, but like, I don't think you need to smoke what's looking like a peace pipe standing on the corner just because you can, or take a bong hit. Like smoke a joint or eat an edible. Like it's almost obnoxious the way that, and that, like I said, that's been 5 years since I was out there, but everywhere else it's like they'll have a joint or something like that. But I don't see the need to cart around a 3-foot bong with me. If you had one,
why not? When in Rome, right?
It does fit in the overhead bin. You just put it up, and it's fine. It's very, very good there.
I got 2 bags.
Yeah. Yes, are you in the bong hit or non-bong hit section? And you're just.
You know what? I was sitting here writing the name.
It's legal.
The names as they came in for the podcast this week, and I think I'm just changing it. It's going to be one word this week. Bong.
Yep.
Oh, great.
Bong.
We should actually have so it can be a little. It can be so it can be a little weird. We should talk about doorbells because then they won't know if we're. But we weren't talking about bongs. We were talking about bing bong. Somebody's at the door.
Bongs like and dongs. Yes.
That's different. Wow. No, that's that would be a potty mouth thing, Matt, for sure. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Mom.
Know that anytime I have the opportunity to take something sideways, I do it.
Yep.
It's just the nature. I've been seeing a lot of memes lately that said, I feel like I'm 29. I act like I'm 12, and I don't remember the rest. But It's accurate no matter what.
Look like you're 70.
That's what it is. I feel my body feels like it should be dead.
You're very young. No. You're young.
Speaking of that, Nick, have you been doing a lot of hiking lately? Like, I don't know. I think without the beard, though, Nick, I mean,
you can't hike. No, that's a prerequisite for hiking. No, actually, I shaved today. I did have a pretty good one going again, but I did shave today because of the concert, just because I feel bad. We have some friends going with us, and strangely enough, when I had my full beard, I don't remember why. I don't remember why I shaved it, but I shaved the full beard because it was driving me nuts. Went to see them, then I left, and then I grew a full beard back. And then right before I went to see, and it had nothing to do with them. It's just I just shaved it for some reason, and then we went to see them. But this time it was the other way around. I'm like, every time I go, I haven't shaved, so I'm just going to shave and be nice and be clean. I know you guys. John's giving me the funny look because I'm talking, but it's a thing, okay?
Because I don't understand. I liked the beginning line where you said I wanted to shave, because we're going to the concert. Because what? Dave Matthews is going to look out and say, Nick, Jesus, the least you could have done was shave. Like a giant penis. Like he cares. Well, that may be as close as you get. Anyway,
No, I don't know. I get into shaving fits, and there's certain times where having not shaved for a while looks really, really bad, but it's getting to be warm out. Like it's in the 80s here today, and I can't do hair on my face when it's hot. I can't do hot.
Yeah, I'll take you up on that. Like John's smart enough. He got out of the cold, and you seem to, like an idiot, want to move back to it.
I do.
I do. No, thank you. Yeah. Even yesterday when it was like 55 out after being 80, like, no, fuck this. I'm so sorry. I'm not.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah. I'm not doing this stuff.
Yeah, no, I would much rather have it.
See, I would
rather have it 55 degrees. I think that's great all day long. The only problem, I will say one thing, and I've expressed this to John before, because I am a Jeep driver and I do love my Jeep and I do love taking the top off. There is a time and place where I am okay with it being warm. Like today, it's warm, but it's not humid. Guess what's off? The top's off, the doors are off, everything's off. We're not taking that to the concert. But that's the exception. That's only like 3 or 4 weeks during the year. Then the rest of it could be cold for me, and I'm good.
I just love how all Jeep owners.
Well, and that's fine. I mean, go ahead. All Jeep owners, yeah.
Like now the Jeep is like the new Mercedes. I can't take it to the concert. I can't take it here. And when you look at the price of the damn thing, it's about the same. But it's like these used to be like the rugged vehicle you didn't care about.
It is.
Like, oh no, I'm not taking my Jeep there. What if somebody steals it? What if somebody scratches it? Like, wait a minute. I thought the whole point of it was like this rugged, Jeep look.
We need to unpack that a little bit though. So this is not my first Jeep. You guys know that. This is not my first. I would take the top off my old Jeep all the time, the doors off all the time, and I would take it everywhere. I think, Matt, you hit the nail on the head. It has nothing to do with scratches. It has nothing to do with being an off-road vehicle. I'll take it off-road all day long. That does not bother me. Getting the tree pinstripes doesn't bother me. I mean, I don't care about that. But the fact that it is so expensive, that's why it doesn't go places. If the top's off and there is the likelihood of something or the whole thing being stolen, it's not worth it anymore. And even to that point, if I had the opportunity when I was younger, like I do now, I would have had a second vehicle, kept the top and the doors off, and only drove the second vehicle whenever I needed to go places like downtown. So there's definitely some thought into it. It's not a new thing. I think there are a lot of Jeep owners that would probably feel the same way I do. Because it's so, let's call it exposed. Everything is so exposed in the Jeep. You have to park it in places that are safe. I mean, the thing locks up like you wouldn't believe. It's got locks everywhere, but you need to park it somewhere that's safe because people are going to get. I've had things stolen out of the Jeep when the top's off. Not my Jeep, my old Jeep, but it's common, and it's just stuff you got to get used to.
Well, And that's probably anything, that you have anything with a convertible top or whatever. I mean, if you're going to leave it like that, you have to be mindful enough to either lock stuff up. And even then it's only marginally safe, especially in a Jeep, which really doesn't have any trunk or anything like that. But, no, I get it. If you're going to leave stuff off like that, that's just part and parcel
of an invitation.
Do I leave it at a place that's dangerous? Yeah, it is. And so, no, I know what you mean. And that's what makes it tough. But it does get added to it. It's multiplied, like Matt said, because of how expensive they are. And you go, so to replace it or to fix it, if somebody does something to it. I had a buddy who was actually one of the chief engineers on the Hummer H2, if you remember those. And I mean, really capable off-road. They were good vehicles, but he was always afraid of scratching it. So he had the magnetic armor that he put on the side. Yep. You know what I'm talking about? And it was, oh my gosh, it was just, it was crazy. So, we're going to take it off-road and I want to stick this stuff. Yeah. Come on. Well, it's a $75,000 vehicle. So
yeah, but that's the interesting thing. If you want to go the bougie side of things, as Matt was pointing out, that my Jeep is more expensive than my Mercedes was brand new. And it's amazing how you treat it. I treat it completely differently. Like that Mercedes, every time I got in it, I almost feel like I vacuumed when I got out. This thing, I don't really care. It's mud, scratches. I don't really care. But to your point, it's more expensive to insure now. And it's you have to protect it because it's a big liability.
Is it more than the Mercedes was to insure?
No, it's the exact same. It didn't go up, didn't go down. Yep.
Oh, really?
See, the thing I think that would scare me nowadays.
Okay.
Is
interesting.
The fact that like you said, one, they're more expensive. Is think about I've got several children that are going to be in the car with me. Do you think they ever don't bring their cell phones with them and not wear something like they expect me to carry them all? So I'm going to have 3 cell phones that could be sitting in there. You've got all these other electronics that might be with you. And the other thing I think today is they're bigger jerks now. Like somebody might just dump a slushie in your freaking car or something stupid like that I just don't 100%. Want to deal with, that maybe somebody wouldn't do before, because maybe before they were afraid of getting their ass kicked a little bit. Now it's like, oh, I don't care, I'm going to do this. Or, some, like exactly where you're going. You get some drunk idiot, any of the dumb stuff like that, I think is what worries me even more than somebody stealing it.
So speaking of dumb being dumb and cell phones and Jeeps, Matt, how's your cell phone?
My cell phone's still good. I brought that up yesterday. Somebody asked me, yeah, you had to go there. They're like, hey, you're not the type of person that gets like Apple Care and stuff. I said, I absolutely am. Let me tell you why. And I said, I have a habit. So the last time we were together, wherever we were at, and I set something on I set it on the Jeep tire, and I even went to myself, yeah, I'm not even going to do that. I just took it right down off of there because it was deja vu. So anybody that doesn't know,
you knew what was going to happen.
This genius put his cell phone on the back of Nick's Jeep tire, and we took a little ride without it. And came back, and it was right there in the street, just smashed into a million pieces. Yeah, that was a fun day. And then Nick thought he lost his AirPods.
Yep. Wow, that was an exciting day.
We had a great time. I had a great time. We did. I think our other coworker did too.
Yeah, well, she did, because she went out and bought a Jeep, a white one, 4xe.
Yeah. Yeah. I still telling you, we could have gone back over that guy's house for dinner that night. He was more than inviting them, nothing like getting out in the middle of Tennessee and knocking on somebody's door. Excuse me.
Matt is the bravest son of a bitch you'll ever meet, because we were looking for what we thought were my AirPods that were gone, and the directions on the map, because you can do a find my phone for the AirPods, said right in front of this guy's house, that's where they were sitting. And we looked everywhere, and Matt went and knocked on the door and said, hey, did you see any AirPods?
Yeah, somebody coming around, he's like, yeah, wonder what that guy thought AirPods were.
He was probably thinking they're like,
well, yeah, those are the guys those are the guys that you look and they've got the 2 cars in the front yard, broken down. That one hasn't run for 12 years. There was a long conversation there, John. Those are the guys. And you know what? And I've driven, I love those country, whatever. I know a conversation in the country in Tennessee. In fact, there was one guy, pulled up to his house and he had a 3-legged pig. And I stopped and I said, dude, I said, you have a three-legged pig? And he said, he is the best pig. He is so smart and he's fast. And I said, well, but prove it to me. And he said, ask the pig how many kids I have. He says, I've got 3 kids. And the pig with his hoof goes 3 times. Wow, that's amazing. That's pretty good. And then he asked him another question and he knew the answer. And he's like doing math and everything. And I said, so why only 3 legs? And he said, well, a pig this smart, you don't eat all at once.
That's terrible. So wrong. So
that
wrong.
is bad.
Yeah. So
bad.
It's Tennessee, you know.
Wow. On that note, on that very
I love Tennessee.
Very articulate, whatever. Note. Folks, we're going to wrap this one up. It's been wonderful. Matt, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we'll get you on another podcast.
Thanks, Matt.
Value to the conversation, but I had a good time.
You added more value than John ever could.
You were awesome.
But, if you want to hear more podcasts and see some of the past episodes with Matt, head up to PoddiMouths.com. Check us out there. Check us out on all of the social media networks out there that exist. And, of course, you can like and subscribe to us here on YouTube. So, folks, have a great week, and we'll see you next time.